Hey guys, welcome back to the episode with the Golden Nuggets podcast, and we still with Damanhuri Abas.
Hi bang. Okay, let's continue from where we ended.
Yes.
I think we were just briefly scratching the surface about the manifesto.
And that was only about housing. But I think before we continue the manifesto, it's best we discuss about the issues that we have within the Malay Muslim community.
Okay, can.
So because for me personally, right, I feel that I have actually gone through various challenges in different things, whether it's career and whatsoever, right? To a point where I actually just cannot identify what are the issues that is actually common among people and also just for myself. You know, like, so my question to you is, what are some of the main issues that our Malay Muslim community are actually facing nowadays whenever you walk the ground and when you ask them?
Yeah, I would like to place this discussion within the manifesto lah.
Okay.
So our manifesto ada satu part called R kan.
Okay.
R is respect for the environment and people.
Okay.
So this is the people component, the way I see it. Where we respect people, and of course we zoom in. The people here are the Malay people lah, the Malay community. Firstly, the Malay community suffers like everyone else regards to the things that is going on, cost of living, housing, the things that we have discussed, immigration, healthcare, your price, and so on and so forth. So we are all the same. We suffer the same thing. Secondly, we have certain baggages that are not resolved that impact the Malay community.
Okay.
For example, issues of discrimination in the national service that continues. Discrimination in the workforce that are on its own as well as related to the experiences at national service, which I will talk about. And third, I would say the political structure that exists that is tentacles are too spread into the community that has become, to me, a hindrance to our growth instead of catalyst for our growth.
Okay.
Which we have to be honest about and discuss. Of course, I have my views and I think it's fair to hear views from everyone. Not all my views are right, and I'm prepared to accept if there's a better view out there. But we need to have that discussion, open discussion.
Right.
Which sadly we don't.
Yeah.
We don't, because of the nature of the community currently, and what we have gone through for the last 60 years, that created what we are today. So
Following the system.
yeah, we have become like that. Tapi I think they are positive. This podcast is to me very positive because this is new. This is nothing. This wasn't here. This wasn't present like let's say 5 years ago.
5 years ago, yeah.
So this is very positive because we're having, in a way, open discussion.
Yep.
And it goes out there in public. The public can hear. The public can have an opinion. And I know you guys can invite another person in from the establishment, for example, to discuss the same thing and get their opinion. And then we can compare notes and see, at the end of the day, we want to come up with real solutions, not same old stale ideas that doesn't really produce other than nice sound bites. Because out there, we want to see real development of the community that I think is very possible, because cannot be that after 60 years, with so much brain in the community, this is the best that we can offer. I don't believe this is the case. In fact, I think it will be like very disappointing. There's so many brilliant minds out there. So why have we come to this situation? So I think those are valid questions that to be asked and to be explored and discussed.
In the first part, you mentioned about you having to prove yourself in your class because no one have actually seen Malay student, because their school maybe do not have a Malay student, And this is what I see when I see our brothers and sisters in the Malay Muslim community. You know, like we always work hard. We always like prove ourselves to do the best as we can. You know, and still, I see a lot of people working very hard. They just don't get that much opportunity. Is this really is just because of our race, or what is the main issue?
I think let's look at the system out there. The system out there say on top of everything is meritocracy.
Yeah.
Meritocracy means everybody have a equal chance to excel. So after 60 years of meritocracy, and we still don't see any top civil servant who are Malays. What does it imply? We are not good. I mean, there's no Malay that can go up to that level to top as a permanent secretary, which is the top civil servant, the PEMSEC. No Malays until today. I don't believe that is the case. If that is the case, show us that is the case. And I think if really we are not good, then it's good lesson for us, and then we work harder so that to me how we measure things, and take reference from that. But when we take reference from that, we realize meritocracy is selectively applied. Right? Let's be honest about it. Selectively applied. Suddenly when we go into the national service, meritocracy doesn't apply. Why?
That's true.
Exactly.
I mean, I want fair. We are not asking for the sky though. We are asking for something very, very fair actually. Equal treatment to all of us.
Right.
It's in our constitution. It's said by everybody in our daily pledge when we were students. Right? How come this is the case? What impediments that this present to us unfairly for so many years, and what impact it has on the community must be looked into. So, and many studies have been done actually by many works by people like Professor Batu Husin Mutalib, for example, in his very deep dive into study of the Malay community. I mean, there's so many research done in the universities that basically describe very clearly what is the problem, what happened, why, and so on. But it is there at the university. It doesn't get to be tabled out in public openly and analyzed, and solutions are produced
Right.
And again, we ask why? Why? Because cannot be the case where cerdik pandai dalam masyarakat kita tak boleh solve this thing. I don't think so. So is it the issue of space is not given for this, or what? You know. So this is where personally I feel that if in any normal society, you have the political class, and then you have the public, and then you have the civil society. Very important, the civil society. So what is our civil society? If you look in the national punya level, you have the growing civil society, those who advocacy group and so on, that address certain issues, certain interest group and so on. In our community, where is it? So we need that, those civil society that are neutral. They don't side with anyone. They listen to the government. They listen to views and so on, and they are the space for opinion to grow, ideas to develop over time and so on. So we need to grow that. Then of course there is also what I call the seni kumpulan seni kita, which actually serve a vital role to me because they are the creative group that actually play the role of reflecting on the state of the society. So these are the people with the brilliance to come up with songs, performance and so on, that capture certain parts of our struggles, our pain, our hopes, our future and so on.
Yeah.
So don't just come up with nice, lovely songs of love lah. Come up with some of these powerful songs that will motivate us, inspire us, and so on. Which I think they can. But why they don't do that? Question that we need to ask. So these are the things. And our growth seems to be not yet there lah.
Right.
And we are. I mean, you ask me. I think we are too close to the government for our own good.
Yeah, because you see, what I can remember back in my national service days, right? Back then, Chan Chun Sing was chief of army. So we asked, why is there no Malays in the Air Force? So I think he go beat around the bush somehow, and then he said that look at our neighbors, because they are of Malay descent. And then he mentioned this. I can't remember what exactly he said, but the most frequent mentioned word is sensitiveness. So, what's your point of view when this sensitiveness is not being tabled out on the parliament or being discussed, especially when these things kind of like affect our profile, our Malay profile
and the question is also, should it be something to be discussed in parliament?
I think anything that goes against the constitution is not right. So this is going against the constitution, which is clearly spelling out that everybody has equal rights for everything, within the law. So the argument of sensitivity to me has run its expiry date. So it need to be relooked.
Yeah, right. Definitely.
I mean, the argument that is floated is that we are in a region where majority are Malays, then we feel threatened, and then so therefore our Malay community here are threatening, because that's what you are implying, is it? You're implying like that we are a security threat. Tell us in the face. Don't like bilis, because then I have a following up question. If I use the same scenario that you described, that because our region is filled up with Malays, which is actually the most welcoming people in the world, if you compare to our history. If you look in the long stretch of our history, we are so hospitable. We allow, we welcome different. Let's say we change this scenario, which is really what is happening today in the world, kan?
Yeah.
Singapore is pro-America, right?
Yes.
America is fighting China, though. So if there's a conflict with America and China, we're going to fight China, though. So I'm using your same logic.
Yeah.
You are saying that the Chinese will not fight China?
I actually had that thought. Really.
Wow. This big thing about
using
it.
your same logic?
Yeah.
So it's ridiculous. Definitely. It's a ridiculous argument. Look,
that's true.
The Malays fought for the British Royal Army when we were under colonial rule.
Yes. Occupation.
The Malays fought under Srivijaya Empire, fought under Majapahit Empire. We are loyal to our kerajaan because this is in our blood. So for you to question our loyalty to our nation is to me insulting. So stop that. Secondly, what reference are you using? The Middle East? Because that's what it is, though.
Yeah.
You're using reference to Middle East. Probably your advisors are the Israelis. Then you better learn very fast, because that same attitude that is held by your advisors is causing a lot of chaos in the Middle East now. Right? That attitude doesn't work. So don't use that same attitude here in Singapore, because we are a nation that is friendly to our neighbors, and our neighbors are friendly to us. So get your reference right. And this policy, I think, need to be reviewed, and it's high time is reviewed, because the baggages of the past are gone. Okay lah, granted lah, that time kita the late Lee Kuan Yew time he Singapore was kicked out, so-called kicked out from Malaysia, kan? And I mean, as a human being, probably he thought But that is long over though.
Yeah, those
Long
times
over,
are gone.
Long over already. So
Expired.
I don't think that baggages are there anymore.
Yeah.
You know, even the regional countries have gone far leaps and bounds forward, kan?
Yep.
So new relations are developed. New leaders are developing new relations across the region, and I don't think Lawrence Wong thinks like this, lah. So I think discussions like this actually is good for the nation.
Yeah.
Because you are losing out on a very on a part of your society, the Malay community, who actually like the uniform group. Though.
Yes, I
That's true,
totally
We love
agree.
the uniform group. Though.
Yes.
Look at our history.
Look at the CDF.
I mean, we we have the what's the word? Kita have that suka this thing. So you in a way depriving us of excelling in the very profession that we are good at. In a way, kan? So I think it's a very deep multifaceted issue lah.
Yeah.
But it has to change because we are suffering the prolonged effect of what a policy of not telling during national service where we are seen as a security threat that label the entire community that unfairly that continues out there in society because every serviceman eventually became a public or become a public and carry on that same mindset.
Yes.
When they look at the Malay worker Malay worker dulu dekat army the security
Driver.
threat kan. Sekarang pun the security threat kan. So I don't blame the public. I don't blame the majority because it's not their fault. They did not start this.
Yeah.
And this can be stopped. And when we stop, actually we are becoming you contribute towards bringing up the real Singapore lah, where we give equal opportunity to all. Yeah.
Wow.
Panjang lebar lah.
But
But it's good. I think you covered like a lot of things that I would say a lot of the things that are on most of the Malay Muslim mind, especially the guys.
Correct.
Like why can't we be up there alongside them?
Kenapa kita tak boleh komando?
Yeah, we want to fight for our country too, right?
I don't know.
Komando ada ke?
I don't know
I think for
because
the longest time I know that tak boleh.
Ada. They started giving I call it tokens. Tokens here and there, and then but it has to be faster lah. Faster, because we are not a threat. We are not a threat. I mean, if there is an individual Malay member of the Malay community that have certain wrong ideas, deal with him lah.
Yeah.
But don't say that the entire community is like him.
yeah,
That is very wrong.
exactly.
Because I can do the same for you tau. But I don't. Because I have a heart and a conscience to know that humans are not like that.
Yeah.
No, there are only bad guys out there kan.
Yes.
Use the law against him lah. Don't generalize lah. Kan?
Yeah. Don't classify a group of people
Yeah.
just for that purpose. Wow. I mean, like, I thought like when you mentioned about we want to discuss about the issues that we have within the Malay Muslim community. I thought it's going to be something like
Generic.
generic like example macam a lot of our Malay Muslim community have the chronic diseases. A lot of them have perhaps like debt issues. Yeah. So but to be talking about this
Security issues.
security issues, I just did not expect that, and
maybe I just come right on my mind. It relates to our religion. I don't know. But again, the sensitive line, where is that drawn?
So if we talk about religion, right? If you want to go there, why are our Islamic bodies considered as bots when we don't see that on our counterparts, the other religions?
Yeah.
I think that is a legacy thing lah. That was done. I mean, the whole Constitution, Article 152 kan is carried over from the British colonial times. So during the British colonial time, I mean, you can refer to many of these research work by very qualified people in the various universities, not only Singapore universities, but even in the world, that state that this is carried over from the colonial time, and it has certain objective. And one objective is to control the Malay population. So today we inherit that constitution. So how do we deal with that? So we need to look at the process in which MUIS was set up. Has it served the purpose, or has it become an instrument of control like it did during the time of the colonial times? So those are conversations that we need to have. Are we wrong to ask those questions? Why is it wrong to ask those questions? We want to improve things. We want to make sure that the effectiveness and efficiency of anything that is set up for the community really serve its purposes as stated in its purposes, not become an instrument of control. And we can negotiate and discuss those things. It's not that we are calling for the removal of those things. If you just look at MUIS, for example, the major funding for MUIS, about 70%, comes from our community, from our Baitul Mal money. So if we are paying 70% of the operation cost of MUIS, why are they not reporting to us? Why are they only reporting to the government?
That's true.
Where is the forum in which they report to us? This is a valid question that you educate a community to this extent. We have these questions. Are we being subversive, being anti-government, asking to be? No, definitely not.
No, we are not.
We want to improve things. We want to make it better. So and have this honest conversation about these issues. Because cannot be that after 60 years, this is the best that we can be. I don't think so. So I'm not blaming the government on that. Let's be transparent about looking into it. Am I denying all the positive? No, I'm not. There are many positive too. But there are negatives that we need to discuss.
Yes.
And I think have the confidence that when we discuss this within the Malay community and with the national community, it is very civil and it's very reason. It's not marah-marah, macam tembak-tembak. No, those times are over already. Even podcasts like this actually are forums in which we can exchange very good ideas among equals.
So where can people actually ask these questions?
For a long time, it's in the universities.
Okay.
When you take such courses, when you discuss sociology, for example, you discuss political science, you discuss some of these things. Sad to say, based on my own personal experience, very little opportunity out there. I wonder, because I was never in the government institution, whether they do this in the government institution, whether Mendaki actually discuss this thing, I do not know. I know AMP tried to discuss some of these things and see what happened to them. So I think it's not fair for what happened to them. Maybe Lawrence Wong should need to revisit all these things with the community and open a new chapter where we confidently discuss this within the scope that we are comfortable, but allow more space. I think that's important.
Because a layman like me, I always question things like, for example, building a mosque, right? We have been contributing our NBIMF every month through our salary and all this, right? But why are mosques still asking for donations to construct the
more upgrading?
All this when we have already contributed every single month. And the thing is, we have about 500,000. I think right now it's 800,000 Malay Muslim people in Singapore, right? So if let's say each of us are contributing about $6 every month,
a lot, millions, bro, every month.
So the question is, where are all this money really going to?
Because I have a client who is actually a few mosques. They said MUIS and the mosques are two separate entities. They don't get money. I'm not sure if they really get saluran money from MUIS, but mostly it's donations, and I think some other sources that they do from the mosque itself.
And the mosques themselves have to bear the marketing costs to actually run their charity drive. So it's really confusing to me. And yeah, I agree with you. There is really no place for us to actually discuss these things. And I think a lot of us eventually become neutered. And after getting neutered, we just like, okay, let's let live. Let's just continue with our life because this is some things we did without not within our control.
I have a suggestion.
Yeah.
Your next podcast, invite the director of mosque from MUIS and
Why
ask
not?
him all these questions.
Why not?
Ask him all these questions. I mean, he should be confident enough to answer all those questions because it's beneficial. Right? We want to know.
Yeah.
I mean, they should not be afraid because I don't think they do anything wrong. So tell us all this answer. Tell us all these things. And if there are, I mean, I'm sure there are reasons why they do certain things, right? So
Yep.
be transparent because 70% of your pay is paid by us.
Yeah.
You
Yes,
have a right to question. So
that's true.
invite them over, have a conversation with them.
It sounds like a very
Okay,
sound idea. I mean,
Yes.
do your job.
Email.
If you have problem getting in touch with them, tell me.
Okay.
So I know who the person is.
Okay. Okay. One foot in.
Yeah, but I honestly believe whatever you mention is very valid. I mean, there needs to be transparency. We are a democracy after all, right? And I guess the people do have a certain level of what do you call it? Form of a way to actually decide or share our suggestions as well. But without seeing all these numbers, with no transparencies, then we can't make these suggestions.
Yeah.
Right. So that said, what do you think needs to be done or can be improved?
Yeah.
I think this kind of conversation need to continue because it has an effect.
And it has to happen more.
Yeah,
Even
it
more,
has an
okay.
effect. For example, if you guys really do what I suggest, that is one step forward, right? Then that will create another situation, and that trigger another situation. So this is the process of how we grow as a society, that we nudge the system. Sometimes kita tegur,
Yeah.
sometimes in the process of doing that kita salah cakap, maybe apologize. But that's how you grow authentically, organically, and treat everyone with respect. So I think that is what we have to do moving forward, and it will have an impact. Just like your podcast and many other podcasts has an impact on BH.
Yes.
BH studies, you see BH different sikit kan. This is,
They also start broadcast.
which is positive. It's a good thing because that's how society works.
Gross, yeah.
When you have competition, healthy competition, then you start to buck up. But you are very comfortable.
Yes.
So competition is
because
good.
otherwise, like you say, they themselves have been too polished to a point where they won't ask these kind of questions.
Exactly. So I think I see a lot of positives actually in the midst of our situation. So let's move it forward even further.
Yeah. Competition is good lah. I mean, we don't want any monopoly in the political situation. So I think that's where I think the opposition, especially the lineup in this election, I think is very strong.
Interesting also.
Yeah. So are you confident for your GRs?
What are your aspirations? I mean, like
For SDP, for SDP, I think we really hope that Dr. Paul Tambaya goes in.
Okay.
It's looking good lah on the ground based on our campaign. And of course, Dr. Chi. Dr. Chi may spring a surprise. So it's tough because he's forced into this situation, right?
Yes.
Bukit Batok disappeared. So, but we are working very hard. Dr. Chi is working very hard. So if these two goes in, I think we will be very happy, very satisfied because finally we have a base as a party, which is very important to grow. You need to have a constituency to run.
Okay, I
then
agree.
you interact with people and so on. You can do so many things, and then you grow, and then you learn, and then you run a good town council that will leave the confidence of the people that is under you lah. I think that's our game plan.
I think it was a smart move when Dr. Chi and Dr. Paul actually run for SMCs because they both are favorable.
Yeah, individually they are strong
yes,
also.
correct. Yeah, but we really hope that they get to be in because like what I think a lot of our candidates actually mentioned, a well-balanced political system will make sense for Singapore to move forward.
I think that's progress.
Yeah.
So just a shout out for the other opposition party lah. I think especially those in Tampines let's do it, man. Put Faisal in.
Okay, I got one.
Bugger out.
I got one last question for you. I don't know if my fellow host ada question untuk Abang Damang tak, but my question for you is the same as before when I asked Abang Leki. You, no matter what the outcome is, what is the legacy that you want to leave behind?
I think the legacy belongs to the community. We need to have one. I have an opinion, a very strong opinion about the arch over Juchat and Gelang. You saw that arch?
Yeah.
I think it reflects the state of the community that we are given something like that, and we're supposed to be proud of that. So I think that is where we are. So let's work with the government and build a real legacy for the community that we can really be proud of. Because we are really outstanding though, in many ways as a community. But let us tell our story, not a story that they want to tell. We have our own story. Let us tell those stories, and we can tell it in many ways and form. So let's do it, make it happen, inshallah.
Okay. Any last question from?
No, for me, I think it's good.
Ami?
It's been
it's been very because before today I came here. I thought like okay, I was reading a bit of the manifesto and stuff. I thought we will talk more about that, but I think when you presented about okay, we should talk about this. I strongly agree because
These are the real issues.
yeah,
bro.
these are the real issues, especially within our Malay Muslim community, and it's not being frequently talked about.
discuss all these things.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I really thank you for that, for suggesting that.
Thanks.
Okay, and with that being said, Abang Daman, thank you so much for being here and for gracing the studio and sharing with us all your concerns and the right steps forward that you feel is the right step forward. And we wish you all the best for your campaign.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
I'll see you soon, inshallah.
Inshallah.
And thank you,
And
guys,
thank you guys
for watching.
tuning. Yes.
And we will see you on the next one. Take
Bye-bye.
care. Bye bye.